turn it into more of like a lawn novelty. That thing hasn't been used since the 1st of June. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a hot one. I know it's been hot everywhere, but it's hot at my house here in Texas, and we haven't had any rain since like the 1st of June. Now the DFW area's had a few areas where it's gotten a little bit of rain, but not at my house. Missed me completely. So the last measurable rainfall that I've had, I think was around June 3rd. Highs have been well over 100 degrees, and now our lows are starting to be in the high 80s. So we're not even really cooling off much at nighttime. So, but you know, not giving up, not losing faith on this, keeping the gas pedal down and just trying to power through this thing. Basically, it's doing good for the conditions that I'm in. Now it's not all the way pretty. It's not what I planned the lawn season to be like, but hey, got some nasty pitches thrown my way, you know, this season, as most of us have with the conditions that are going on this year, it seems like. So anyway, let me get you turned around and let's take a look at the lawn and see where we're at about halfway through the season. All right, guys, so if you remember, this has been one of my projects this year that I was really going for. If you remember, I was trying to get that perennial ryegrass to grow underneath this oak tree. That didn't work last year, so this year I thinned out that oak tree and then have been transplanting some Bermuda runners and plugs underneath it to just see if, one, if Bermuda can grow underneath it, and two, do I want to keep plugs and just let it fill in over time, or do I want to rip all this out, make it nice and flat, and then put in some nice Bermuda? So that's kind of the test on that. Now these areas right here, like this spot of Bermuda, that one, these little ones right here, these are some plugs that I've pulled out of the lawn, and some big patches that I pulled out of the garden area as well, and have transplanted over here. And I've just been keeping water on it, and I tell you what, I'm pretty happy with it. It's happy too. It's growing in. Now the problem is, this season I don't expect it to fill in, especially with the conditions that we've been having with it so hot and everything like that. It's staying alive, it's doing well. I just don't expect it to fill in this year. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how we finish up and make some decisions from that going into the fall. Now this area, if you remember, this was a big bare spot area and had a few plugs that I put in, and those have actually done well in helping that area fill in, which I'll throw a little previous picture up so you can kind of see the difference there. Very happy with that. Now again, like I said, we've been well into the hundreds for almost 3 months now, 2 months now. Starting to get some hot spots. Not much you can really do about that. I mean, try to keep it watered, keeping it as healthy as I can. Just gotta power through that area. Over here by the barn, now this area has changed quite a bit. That tree right there, we're losing that tree. My neighbor's losing their tree, but I'm losing a lot of the shade from it. So therefore my Bermuda is really starting to spread back towards the fence. So I've decided, I know it looks ugly now, but I've decided to just kind of let this go throughout the fall, or once the fall gets here, then I'm gonna redesign this whole back garden area and just kind of go from there. But right now I'm seeing how far that Bermuda can spread back, and actually what areas I could expect it to fill in, just so I don't have like a barrier of a garden, a wide gap of dirt, and then the edge of the grass. So that's kind of the test right now. These spots right here, little transplant areas, those things are definitely fanning out pretty good, but right now it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so my line probably is going to end right here throughout the year, and then somewhere through this area. This is where that old cottonwood was. Now I don't know if I necessarily had armyworms or grub damage or anything like that, or if it was brown patch, or if it's just heat related. Might be a combination of all three. I did the soap test on this area, and nothing came up. There was no bugs or anything like that. So I did put Anderson's Duocide down just in case. Also did an application of the BioAdvance fungicide, thinking it might be brown patch, but this also may be really heat stress related. So anyway, I did put a treatment down. I think we got it all stopped, and now hopefully we can get some recovery in those areas for the rest of the summer. Now, if you remember, I used to have this big, huge wooden deck that was over in this area. So I do know the soil on this side of the yard is not as good as that side of the yard. This garden's doing pretty good. I do need to clean it out a little bit, but it's over 100 degrees outside, so I haven't been out in the backyard too much during the day. But it's hanging in there. Got a pretty good line on it for my first try. Now just keeping it clean, like keeping all the old Bermuda debris out of there and stuff like that. That's kind of tricky. It's a little bit of a learning process on that. This side of the garden does really well. So those bubblegum petunias, they're loving life, whereas the darker colored ones, they're not really taking off too much. They are sustaining and doing well, but it's just kind of wild to me that you have this side of the garden doing really well and this side just kind of hanging in there. They both receive same amount of water, same sunlight, somewhat same soil. So I don't know, I always think that's funny, but this is my first time going around actually paying attention to a garden, so it's been a lot of fun. I'll do a video explaining kind of what all I've been doing with it so far. But yeah, that poor sunshine ligustrums is not doing as great as that one. So this is the area where we killed all the St. Augustine and put a layer of about 2 yards of sand on that area. Now it's been doing really well filling in, primarily this season on this backyard Yard Mastery's flagship fertilizer, and then also I'm using the Next Gen's or the Next products, Humic 12 and the RGS, and also Anderson's biochar as well. I've got a couple applications of that on the yard just to help with the spread and overall health of everything. And so anyway, that's the backyard. Let's go take a look at the front and let me show you what's going on there. All right, so on the front yard now, this side's actually doing really well this season. I've had a few areas get some hot spots around here. Basically, primarily the issue was this sprinkler and that sprinkler was too low. You can see I developed a really bad hot spot right there, but I got those adjusted. Now it's starting to fill in quite nice in these areas, and it's staying pretty thick, so happy with that. All right, so the front yard, Raleigh St. Augustine, got it cut at 3.5 inches, trying to keep an inch of water on it, a little over an inch of water on it each week. As you can see in the neighbors' yards, you can see how hot and dry it's been. I mean, that sucker's cooked over there. So it's definitely been a battle just trying to keep everything alive, let alone green. But we're doing the best we can with what we got. So I did have to change out some sprinkler heads, had to go back to my old MP rotors. Just wasn't getting the coverage that I liked, nothing better. So I went back to the old tried and true to hit more spots. This area over here, I just can't hit it to save my life with the sprinkler. It sure would have been nice if they would have put sprinkler heads in this middle spot, but we've got to work with what we've got. So over here I do have 3,500 head that I put in my garden.
I need to go outside and cool down.
Okay. I'll be in a minute, okay? I just changed that up, so hopefully I can get it shot down into that area a little bit better. I will say it's been nice. I have this garden, this live edge right here, and it's actually started filling in. So pretty happy with that. That's actually starting to look really good. This side's hanging on as well. Now, if you remember, at one time I was trying to get the St. Augustine to spread in this back area. Unsuccessful with doing that, even though it's crept in a little bit. Last year, I had some issues with some sprinkler heads, and I pretty much lost all that St. Augustine progress that I had going. This year, I've raised them up a couple inches just to try to get them above the line and get the throw a little bit better. But still got a hot spot over there, but you can only hit so much lawn with what I've got, and you just kind of got to take with what it gives you. Now, leave a comment down below. Let me know how your season's going, if you're struggling or anything like that, or what you're doing to battle heat or drought. So I like reading those comments. This is my hobby. I like sharing it with y'all. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.